Hey guys, my name is Ray, and today's the day that we are going to be talking about the top 10 heroes, and if in the top 10 heroes there's enough firepower to go up against Shigaraki and the villains. Let's get started. Now, I honestly was thinking a lot about this after the recent chapter 278 because, as we saw, the heroes are not having a lot of luck now that Gigantomachia is out on the prowl, and he is just pure destruction and he is unstoppable at this point. We saw that Mount Lady, who is ranked, I believe, like 22nd, tried to, put her best up against him, but guess what? That was not enough, and I don't think that the heroes have enough. So I thought it would be a dope idea to go down this top 10 list and see who could contribute what given the current situation that the heroes find themselves in. Now, let's start off at number 1. Right away with the top hero, Endeavor. We saw that All Might retired. He no longer has One for All, and it's looking pretty doom and gloom. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, guys. This is not looking good. This is going to be very gloomy for the heroes. Endeavor, which is great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a great hero, but he is the best hero right now in basically Japan and maybe even the world. And he basically cannot deal with Shigaraki. And the fact that he cannot deal with Shigaraki also kind of lends me to believe that he wouldn't be able to deal with Gigantomachia either, because Gigantomachia, as we saw in this, he has very thick skin. I don't believe that Dabi did much against him when they were trying to take him down the first time with Shigaraki. So I don't see what Endeavor could do with either of these big two guns. Then you have Hawks. We saw that Hawks was able to take down twice, but at number 2, for him to be the second best hero in Japan is very scary, because for all the great stuff that Hawks does as a hero, he is not a power player. Like he said himself, versus the high end, he is not a powerful hero. He is more of a finesse technique. His feathers are good at saving people, that type of stuff. And as we saw, Hawks is in pretty bad shape after his encounter with Twice and Dabi, and Tokoyami took him, we don't know where, but he was not looking good. Then we go to number 3, Best Jeanist. Best Jeanist is definitely a dope hero. We saw him go up against All for One, but as we saw then, he was pretty much effed over, when All for One basically blew a hole in his gut. Then we saw that very much possibly Hawks killed Best Jeanist. We don't know where he's at. We don't know what he's up to. We don't know what happened with that. So that should be interesting. But for the most part, he's a non-player right now. If he is alive or if he's dead, I mean, he can't contribute anything. So right there, we have basically the top 3 heroes that are basically non-effective versus the villains. And this is just getting worse and worse from here on down, because as we saw, Edshot was going up against Redestro, and he was not in the best position. He was doing all right, I guess, for himself, but I mean, Redestro isn't even like maybe their top 5 best villains, you know what I mean? So he's a strong guy. We saw him up against Shigaraki when he got stressed out and whatnot, but he's not really that big of an issue, especially after Shigaraki did what he did to Redestro. So we saw that even Tokoyami was able to toss him, you know what I mean? So the fact that Edshot is, going against him and didn't like one-shot him, kind of like how he did with Dabi and them, is very telling to me. And very telling in a bad way. Then we go to everybody's waifu, everyone's favorite, Miruko. Now, Miruko is very interesting to me because, yes, while she was very much powerful, she's a great hero. She could take down maybe most of the high-end Nomus, maybe if she went on a 1v1, and maybe even most villains. We saw that once Dabi saw her, when he went up against Endeavor and Hawks during the whole hero arc versus the high end, we saw that Dabi fled because he knew that it was a no-win situation right there. So the fact that Miruko was number 5 and she basically is now almost basically out of commission because she lost an arm, her legs are all jacked up, she was messed up, we don't know where Endeavor left her, and yeah, she's out of play for the foreseeable future in my opinion. Then we have our good old boy, Captain Crust. That's basically what he's a play on, right? Captain America. But Crust to me is a very, very interesting one. And the reason that I say he's so interesting was because we didn't really get to see much of him, but he was different. And, he had kind of embodied that All Might, what I mean, fandom type thing going on. And it's sad. He had to die. He's out of commission. So when you look at the top 6 heroes right here alone, it is looking like basically half of them are out of commission, like for the long term. Like they might not be heroes anymore. 2 of them might be dead and 1 might be out of commission. So that's not looking good. Then we go to Kamui Woods, and Kamui Woods is one of those stories in here that is very interesting to me, very dope. And the reason is because Kamui Woods, we saw him in the beginning of My Hero, and he was like an up and coming guy, and now he's number 7. But guess what the problem with that is? Now he's number 7. This guy's power is wood. He is basically the Hashirama of My Hero Academia. And while I think that is extremely dope and pretty awesome, you know what I mean? I enjoy his power. When you have villains like Dabi who possibly could one-shot him, like we saw what happened in 278 right now, I thought he was dead for a minute, And yeah, he's not very effective unless he has the jump on the villains that he's going up against. It doesn't seem like he's very effective. Maybe against a few of the villains, Gigantomachia, like I said, Shigaraki, Dabi, you know what I mean? And it should be interesting to see how that plays out. Then we go to number 8, Wash. Number 8, Wash is a very, very, very interesting one because we don't know much about Wash. We know that Wash was in the top 10, number 8, as we see here on this list. And Wash, we pretty much could assume that Wash is dead. Because if a number 8 hero is around Shigaraki, you would imagine that he would assist them in some way or fashion in the battle against Shigaraki. And a lot of us assume that, Wash died during the Decay attack. And it's looking more and more like that might have happened. So, yeah, that's 4 heroes out of the top 8 that are out of commission are probably dead. So, not good at all. Not good at all. And then we have Yoroi Musha, which is the samurai hero, which was pretty salty about his positioning in the top 10 heroes. Now, this one is very, very interesting to me because we don't know anything much about him, and he sounds very, very cocky and arrogant about his position. He feels that he should have been ranked higher. So that might mean and entail that he has more power than maybe we might even know. Maybe there's for other reasons that he didn't, chart higher on the chart. And to be the number 9 hero, you should be good. But then, like, when you see Kamuy Woods in front of him, it makes me kind of wonder, like, why did Kamui get the jump on him? Was it because of popularity? They did make a big point in this episode and in that chapter to basically point out that just your ranking doesn't mean how powerful you are. It's just based off an algorithm of popularity, how many people you solve, how much you help, and how much you contribute to basically society, and how much you contribute as a hero in Japan. So it should be interesting to see when he pops up, he might actually be able to bring something to the table. Now, Ryukyu is the number 10 hero, and I, to be honest, am very, very scared because as we saw Ryukyu last, she was under Endeavor, passed the fuck out after, Shigaraki took his villain champion pose, stepping on our boy Endeavor and Ryukyu. And I think Ryukyu could, support and give a lot of help. She's, pretty dope. But I mean, as we saw during the, Overhaul arc, she could not go up against Overhaul or a villain of that caliber. Imagine a Shigaraki. Yes, she's helped, and now that his quirk is turned off, but how much could Ryukyu actually bring to the table? And I'm very curious to see that because it's not like she throws flames out her mouth. I don't think I've seen any of that ability. So to me, it should be very interesting to see what happens there. Now, another little thing that I wanted to do in this video before I head out and not leave it on so much doom and gloom is about some of the young heroes that we have seen and we know that are in UA and some of the other schools. And to me, it's very interesting because I see a lot of heroes that could definitely be charting ahead of these professional heroes if they had maybe a little bit more street seasoning. For example, Bakugo, when he released that shot on Shigaraki when we last saw them, I mean, all the professional heroes were like, damn, this boy got that power, you know what I mean? So I definitely could see our boy Bakugo charting very soon, because like I said, most of these heroes might be popularity and, you know, just how many people they save, but they might not be that raw power or technique and fighting combat and stuff like that. Some of them might just be saving. And I think Bakugo is definitely up there. Even our boy Midoriya, Deku. I think that Deku, as of right now, if he wanted to kick most of, probably a few of these heroes' asses right here, he probably could. You know what I mean? He has the notes on them. And I'm not just being a fanboy of the main characters, even Shoto. Those three characters are well above student levels, as we've seen in the past. So I think that there's a lot of upside and positivity there. Class 1B has some really nice heavy hitters as well, people who have specific techniques, and we're going to see some of that shine in the next chapter, as we saw they're setting up versus Gigantomachia. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys think that they have what it takes to go up against the villains, or do you think that they just need to develop the younger characters because they just don't have enough as of right now? I'm mad curious to see what you guys think. I'm like super excited to see this animated. I'm not lying, like super hype. I can't like tell you guys how excited I am. But as always, guys, this has been My Couch Academia. My name is Ray, and peace.